answer. Okay, now we're about to have a fun guest, okay? So we're about to bring in, let me turn on my music. We're about to bring in Rhinestone Stairs. He got to tell y'all what that means. Here we go. But you know what? You see how the universe is doing my internet? What's up?
Hello.
Welcome to the KiKis.
Welcome to the Kiki. I need that fan over here. I'm like a sweaty monkey.
Listen, I've learned the hard way. But I gotta keep a fan. Sis gotta keep a fan on deck.
I'm not mad.
On this Friday night.
I'm good. I mean, I don't know if you live in Brooklyn, Sarajevo, so you may hear some fireworks going off. But other than that,
what do you think those fireworks are? What do you think those are?
I don't know. I just wanted to stop. I can't even. You know, I mean, I have like a few theories. All my theories kind of fall apart. But what they are is a hot fucking mess. Like, it's just so. Yeah, and I'm from Brooklyn. This is not normal.
Put them out there, but I got a couple theories.
That's where I am too. I'm like, I got a couple theories, but I'm from Brooklyn. This is not normal. So.
I hear you. Okay. Well, we got New York in the house, and I love that. So, you guys, I met him just randomly. We met at the reading for Goddess.
Yeah.
Woo.
Fabulous.
That was such a great
Exciting.
reading, great musical.
Looking forward to that.
We just met in the lobby, and that was it. He just has a funny spirit, so I definitely wanted to get him on and talk because I follow you on Instagram, and I noticed you had a movement going on with the images that are in TV and film where LGBT is concerned. So tell us about your movement.
Well, a movement, I mean, maybe it'll be a movement one day, but really I just committed to doing an exploration of the depictions of gay Black men specifically in film and TV. And why I did that was I'm a writer myself, and I was working on a project, but I was interrogating, like, how do you come to know yourself, right? Because what's really important is, of course, what happens in real life. You have friends, you have family, you have community, but especially as gay people and gay Black people and of a certain age, we didn't grow up with these images in the real world. So it was like, so what did we get that was fabricated? And I realized through private conversations with some of my friends that some of our pathologies were born out of what we saw on film. And then there were also moments of some of our own discovery was based on what we saw in film. And so I just wanted to kind of explore. And I have some, theories as well about, we've been on screen and TV, on film and TV for a while, but it's been really limited what we've seen. Yeah. And so I just wanted to tease out that. So that's what it is. And it's hashtag a Black gay on screen.
And I think it's important, because don't talk about me, but even today, when I was thinking, like, what music will I play? And this, you start wondering, like, are these stereotypes? Do people, you know what I mean? I feel like we've got, like, concepts of what it means to be a gay man in America. And, and I know how that feels on the other hand, like what it means to be a Black woman in America. And sometimes it's like, yeah, I listen to that, but I listen to other stuff too. Like, don't box me into these small places. And one of the scenes you posted is one of my favorites. True Blood. Listen.
Oh, yeah. That's powerful.
Is it Nelson Ellis, I think, was his name. He's passed since then, but he played Lafayette. And I thought that was such an intriguing depiction of a Black man. It was not predictable. You never saw him coming, in my opinion. While he was serving us moods and vibes, he would get in that butt. Like he was
But that's so many of us. That's so many of us. Because you have to be.
Don't
right?
sleep. Don't let the smoke.
You have to. Yeah, the sissies can always fight. That's the part that people don't get. At least I know for like the Black ones, right? Like I said, I'm born and raised in Bed-Stuy. I grew up in Crack Ever Bed-Stuy. I'm not a crack addict. That wasn't my personal experience. But I grew up in what some people would call the hood. And you're not going to make it through there. And I was also a sissy, right? Like I was pegged as a gay boy from early childhood. So it's like you have to be able.
Childhood? How old would we say?
I don't remember not being called gay. You know what I mean? Like in a derogatory.
Your mom knew the whole time as well too.
Yeah, I think all mothers know. I think I just think that like I think that yes, I think she knew. But I took ballet classes, you know what I mean? Like I started dance at age 2. I was taking ballet classes. My mother is very big into arts and culture, so we would go to the opera, Lincoln Center, the museums. I was in the dance program for middle school, in addition to taking pre-professional classes outside. So I was always, I was called faggot, sissy, tom girl, which that doesn't even make sense, but I was called all of those things. So I don't
now,
remember.
What does that do to your mental place and your self-esteem when those things, did you get accustomed to it? Because it almost sounds like you started accepting that as a title, or how were you dealing with that as a kid?
Well, this I think is really credit to my mom and the community. Actually, I have a different experience than I think a lot of Black gay men, or at least what is sometimes the narrative. But what I was always, even as my family and my community was trying to rationalize their Christianity or their understanding of what is supposed to be, they still held space for me. And so what I was taught in an early age was that the only label that matters is the one you give yourself. So that if someone's calling you a faggot, if you don't feel like a faggot, it doesn't matter. Then of course we have to unpack what does it mean to feel or not feel like a faggot? That's real heavy for an 8-year-old. But the takeaway was, how do you feel about yourself? That, sticks and stones. And I learned that really early on, that like, are you going to let what someone else thinks about you define how you navigate the world and how you move? Are you going to wear what you want to wear because you want to wear it? Or are you going to, because they're going to talk about you? And my mother would simply be like, well, if you don't want to wear it because they talk about you, that's fine. It's corny. That's whack, but that's your choice too.
Yeah.
So.
You know what? I'm so glad you bring up that point, because I have so many friends. I have a lot of gay male friends, right? And I used to jokingly say, I hope this is okay, but I usually am like, I think my husband is a gay man. Like, I think he just decided he was going to do boys, right? Because I get along.
Or maybe I just got to talk about it. Work it out.
I'm lost that he done left me out here alone. But I get along with with them so well that now that you bring that up, I think we connect at that place, that I was given the freedom and the space to be honest to who I am too. So maybe out of that, you know what I mean, there is like some type of fusing, because all you're saying is that you need the space to be you. Like, you're not going to change your vibe to fit the rest of the world. And when I heard you say that, I'm like, maybe that's the intersection that I find, so much fun and freedom being around people who are brave. Because sometimes I think being gay is really brave, because I know the world doesn't accept it. So
being openly gay.
Go ahead.
I'm never saying being openly gay, because they're two different things, right? Like, so you can be gay or be openly gay.
Keep me on the straight and narrow. That's right. He said, it's being openly gay is the confidence. Tell me about it.
And I think part of the reason why Black gay men and gay men in general, but especially Black gay men and Black women find community, is because we both navigate this complicated intersection, right? Of like being Black people and then having to also, so you're subjugated and you're disrespected in the world. And then you also are part of this community that you love and are immensely proud of. But you also are subjugated and disrespected within that community. But it's your community, and it's your children and your parents. And so you still have to navigate that complexity. And you don't want to disregard either aspect of that identity. And so you just are trying to, I think that, I
think you're right. I think we had that intersection. We know what it feels like, as well, too, to live in that space. I want to ask, because she done gave me the 2 minutes. I wanted to ask you so who do you think we need to be as allies? What does that mean to you? Who do you think that we need to be as a Black community, so that you feel supported and safe during this time?
So it's two things, and it was interesting when you asked the other brother a question. I was like, well, I hope she asked me that as well. I think that one, be yourself, right? Like, first and foremost, be yourself. And then it's 3 parts. The second part is, you get access to rooms that I don't have access to. I always say, like, slavery didn't end because the slaves had a meeting and were like, okay, we're not going to be enslaved anymore. It was because the white men sat in a room and they finally heard one white man in a way that they hadn't heard him before, and were like, okay, fine, this is going to wrap up. And of course, the enslaved people advocated for themselves, and they moved it along. I'm not saying that they were not active. But it's like what actually moves it is when you're in those meetings where it's like, look, I'm not like those people, but I'm telling you that the way we're treating them is wrong. So you have
Yes.
access to rooms that I don't have. They're going to say things even within the family at Christmas dinner. When I go to the bathroom, they're going to say something. And sometimes I think maybe it's because it's uncomfortable or because you know their intention that you have to call that out. You know, you have to be like, we don't use words like that anymore, or like that's incorrect. And that's not
Absolutely, because
okay.
honestly, every time, even when you were telling the story and you would say the F word, it just breaks my heart. It's just such a mean word, you know? So it is us like regulating, like you said, we don't use that word, or just making sure that we educate. And that's what tonight is about. Because I know a lot of people watching are maybe in the Black community or think like educating the other generation, our moms, our grandmothers, the people that really
And our friends don't push it all, like, you know, it's the same stuff with the white folks. Don't try to push it this far off and your friends. And when your friends say stuff like, I mean, it's fine if you gay, but why you gotta act like a girl? That's not okay. You don't get to define how someone else behaves. And then the other thing I wanted to say was, you asked, like, if your son that you may have one day comes to you. And I think we have to make sure that you're creating space not for him to come to you, because that's a big ask for a 9-year-old, a 15-year-old, even a 25-year-old, but that you're coming to him. And so you're not just saying, you know that you can talk to me about anything, but you're saying, hey, do you like boys? Do you like girls? Asking so I can support you because it's all okay. Because you can't expect a 9-year-old to lead on that.
No, that's game right there. That right there. And it's so funny because I have somebody that I love, you know, just a kid. And I did when we had that conversation, because I noticed and I asked them, you know, like, and I made it I wanted to make it conversational. So you like girls or boys? Like it was okay either way. And of course he still looked like, well, and I just wanted him to know that this was going to be a safe place for, and he's like, no, but okay. I just wanted to know, because it could be either, right? You're saying leave that safe space for him to
it's
say.
like you can't just say this is a safe space, but then you make gay still be this far off thing we can't talk about.
Amen.
Because then it's like, how is this a safe space if you aren't even willing, you the adults aren't willing to talk about it? So you have to be like, this is a safe space, and these are all the things we can explore here. Do you like boys? Do you like girls? Do you not know? Do you like some other gender that we haven't yet classified? Etc. You know what I mean? It's like you can't expect a 9-year-old, a 15-year-old to have that language. You don't do that with straight children. You don't come to them and say, or I'm not gonna say you. Some people do, and then that's why they wind up pregnant at 14, because no one talked to them about these things. You know what I mean? It's like you have to get over your uncomfortability to make this space for them.
Amen. So. You know when you drop the mic on that, I think that is like really. I think that when we put that into the universe and make people consider, like, don't wait on them to come to you, go to them, create these open spaces. And you just have such passion and clarity. Where can people find you, and tell them what your name means?
Well, so my real name is William Bryant Miles. My screen name or my handle is Rhinestone Stare, and it's a riff on the Langston Hughes poem. You know, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. For me, it's been rhinestone, it's been glittered, it's been fabulous, honey. You know, cracked and tattered and torn. A few of the rhinestones are falling off, but we press on. Don't you give up, because it's kind of hard. You can find me, of course, here on Instagram. That's actually the best place to find me. Hashtag Black, Gay, and On Screen is my month-long exploration. And I also created this pin, which I hope you guys can see it. And it's to celebrate the intersection of Black and gay identity. I'm selling them. You can DM me right now. We're just in pre-sale. So you can DM me at Rhinestone Stare, and I'll ship those out to you. They're $10 each right now. The price is going to go up when we're out of pre-sale.
Let's go, y'all. We are supporting. Let's go.
And this is for allies, members, people who identify this way, and allies, to just celebrate the unique intersection of Black and gay.
That was good. I love it. Wait, I can't let you go without you. You got on a kimono.
Well, it's not a full kimono. I don't want to misrepresent. I don't want the Asians get mad if the Japanese kid tell me it's not a kimono. I got one of those.
But you got
I'm giving you Asian teas. I'm giving you Asian fish, a little sushi.
It just warmed my heart that you playing along with us and you came and you hung out.
Oh, this is just what I had on, honey. I'm just getting ready for bed.
I woke up like this.
Exactly. I woke up like this. You know, no bonnet required.
Thank you.
Thank you. This was really great.
Thank you. you. Thank you. You've
Thank
been
you. I
great.
love what you guys are doing.
Thank you. You too. He has a you do a show every Wednesday, don't you?
Yes, Wednesdays at 7.
Wednesdays at 7. So you gotta go follow him. Then you gotta DM him to get your pin. And then when you in the club, show up on Wednesday and let's watch
And you
the
might be
show.
my mama.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, I'll see you later. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Woo, y'all. We are rocking and rolling. Now, why did that do that?